Hey y'all.
Hello, everybody. Da-da-da-da. Here we go.
Welcome to season 3.
Oh goodness.
How
how we
we
feeling? How we
feeling?
feeling? How are we feeling, folks? Uh, okay. Hello. If you haven't been to a Q&A before, when we're not on hiatus, they are an hour long. Strap in. And as always, we are going to open up with the episode playlist.
No, we're not. We're opening
No, we're
up
not.
with talking
Yep.
points.
My brain. Anyway, so don't know if everybody saw, we posted the logo that we got commissioned over hiatus the other day.
And we mentioned that in the near future we are going to be opening up a merch store with things that you can buy that have that logo on them.
Yeah,
among
we have a couple
other
things.
stuff. Yeah, we have multiple things coming.
But right now it's gonna be the logo, or to start with, it's gonna be the logo rather. How
also,
about that logo? It looks delicious.
It does. It's delicious.
So good.
On Friday we also released a Patreon exclusive bonus episode,
Yes.
Fecal Game Night.
Yeah.
And it was very fun.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, we played Trial by Trolley. It was a lot of fun. We had Chelsea help us out again, like she did last year for the holiday game night bonus episode. We had a really good time with it.
Chelsea played Sabine very well in Fecal Game Night.
Well, we needed to have somebody with an indomitable competitive streak to play Sabine, so we asked my wife, who can't play a game like a normal person.
I love her so much.
Yeah, my wife has to turn every game she plays into a death match, so it made sense to cast her as Sabine in that.
What was it that she said the last time we played it before Fecal Game Night? World peace, motherfucker. Go to hell. Actually smacked a card down.
No, she said fuck both of you.
Oh,
and
that's
world
right,
peace,
that's
fuck
right.
both of you.
And
then
world
she
peace,
slammed
fuck both
down.
of you.
Yeah.
That was it. Oh goodness. But yeah, Fecal Game Night, good. It's very fun.
And now we can do the playlist.
I got ahead of myself.
So track 1, Lion's Teeth by the Mountain Goats. The whole song really, but
ooh.
Well, because you know more about the lore of Lion's Teeth than I do, and have told me a lot about it.
Yeah, if you listen to the Mountain Goats, you are aware that most of Sunset Tree is semi-autobiographical about the lead singer's experiences with his abusive stepfather. So that's kind of the context of Lion's Teeth, is that
it was a revenge fantasy, right?
Yeah. It's a revenge fantasy, and it's very metaphorical of like how it feels to be in a situation where you have an abusive parent that you can't get away from. And it's like the whole metaphor of the singer's abuser as a lion, like that kind of the metaphor of like someone who has the power to hurt you and who you can't get away from, as like this apex predator who is just like yawning over your life. Like it's a whole thing. Yeah.
But also the line of when your chances fall in your lap like that, you got to recognize them for what they really are. As Leo, like making that snap decision to do what he did was a lot.
Delicious.
And also, there's no good way to end this. Anyone can see there's just great big you and little old me, and we hold on for dear life. We hold on. Like, yeah. That Leo and Moreland confrontation, we have been brewing since the beginning of the series, and it was a lot to play out when it actually happened. But
sorry, somebody in the chat said, now I want to know, or now I know why that Mountain Goats U quiz wanted to know about my parents. Yeah, that's why. That's what Sunset Tree is about. Sunset Tree is about being a high schooler who has an abusive parent.
Which is why we made it the lead track on our playlist.
Yeah. Oof.
Second one was Numbers by Daughter, which was actually a Zed song, so you can go ahead and take this one too.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, it was about Zed's feelings after that whole confrontation. Oh God, where to start here? Yeah, let's start with the first verse. The first verse is take the worst situations, make a worse situation. Follow me home, pretend you found somebody to mend you. Oof. And also, like Zed's whole mentality of the fact that he's going into this relationship with someone and they are both agreeing to help each other get better, and then Leo did what he did. So there's a verse in the song that's you better make me better, be better. Yeah. So that's a lot. And then we had Darling by Halsey, which
that was mine. Yeah, that was the song for the Leo Zed scene.
Yes.
Oh God, there's so much. It's the whole song, really. But
yeah. Just listen to the episode playlist.
Yeah.
If you're only going to listen to one episode playlist, let it be this one.
I feel like that one line where Leo broke down sobbing and said, "I'm so tired," can be wrapped up in Darling by Halsey.
Yeah.
The really can't remember where I left my spine, carrying my body in a bag for dimes, hidden in the pages of a New York Times at home, and maybe I'll be better if I take my meds. It ain't a double header if you lose your head. Tried a medication that I bought instead. It's working for a little, but there's not much left.
Darling, don't you cry, head fast towards the light. Foolish men have tried, but only you have shown me how to love being alive.
Yeah. And then the pronouns are wrong here, but the stanza of ever since a little girl I found it sweet, driving past a graveyard on a lonesome street, all the little flowers gave me something to believe in. Never knew the feeling of a stable home, been a couple of years of living on the road, couldn't really tell where they would leave a stone to visit me when I am dead and gone.
It's a song.
Yeah, and also that bridge of until it's time to see the light, I'll make my own with you each night is really good too. Like that agreement of I'm tired, I'll meet you halfway is very summed up in Darling, both aesthetically and lyrically. It's a good song.
Yeah. Oof.
And then the next one was Tardigrade song by Cosmo Sheldrake. That's an Arave song, and we've actually already talked about that. Yeah, so we're not
going to on the playlist.
Yeah, it's on the Arave playlist, so we're not going to go super deep into that. But this episode is where we start seeing a lot of Arave's deeper character development. Yeah.
Arave's gotten some deep emotional cuts so far this season.
Yeah, well, all I want is my shrubbery and my little patch of moss with my whiskey in my cabinet and my feet all clothed in socks. Arave's got a lot of trust issues, and we start seeing a lot of that coming out this season.
Yeah.
My Brother by Mr. Wives. Go for it, buddy.
Oh, so this was the fee song for the episode. Oof. The chorus of the song is, "Oh, my brother, it pains me to see you here again. Oh, my brother, I'll take this road with you until the end." It's that, and then there's a bridge of, "And I'll never leave you, I'll never leave you, I'll never leave you." Oof. Yeah. There's a part in the song where like the music falls away and it's just the voice, where it's let love guide you home when you're wandering, don't let your true self turn to stone when you're wandering, know that this too shall pass, let the waves crash, and wash you clean to shore, pain turn to ash. Oof. Oof. That's all. Just oof. Anyway, that's the lead track of the season 3 playlist.
I forgot that we did this.
And then we have the last of the real ones by Fall Out Boy.
It's a Be Captain song.
Yeah, you are the sun and I am just the planet spinning around you.
I know this whole damn city thinks it needs you, but not as much as I do. Was the line that made me pick this one.
Ooh, that ultra kind of love you never walk away from.
Yeah, this was all focused around that line of I should have been by your side instead of fighting to
Yeah.
keep you by mine.
And it was a good end track for this episode because there's a verse that's just, I'm here at the beginning of the end, oh, the end of infinity with you. And it just repeats that. Yeah. I'm done with having dreams, the thing that I believe. Yeah.
And I think we actually named this episode because of that.
I think that might have been
soundtrack
it. It was
selection.
one or the
Yeah.
other. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, we either put this song on here because we named the episode this, or we named the episode this because we put the song on here.
I can't remember.
I can't remember.
Yeah. So, oh God. Yeah. The episode soundtracks this season are turning out to be a lot.
Somebody in the chat said Ereve in the season 3 episode 1 telling Fee not to trust was like, Fee, no, don't listen. Close your ears, Fee. Yeah.
Ereve has a lot of really valid reasons to not
absolutely.
trust people.
Yeah,
but
like Ereve is not wrong or unreasonable, and that's something that we kind of wanted to be careful about. Was like, Ereve is right, but not in this specific situation.
Mhm.
Like, her trust issues are a coping mechanism that has served her well that she has now outgrown. If that makes sense.
But she
And
hasn't.
it's the same way with Fee. Like,
Yeah, and she
yeah.
well, and with Ereve, she hasn't really figured out that she's outgrown that coping
Yeah.
mechanism yet.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, like it was very much Fee and Ereve are very similar characters,
Which is why
in
they
that.
get along.
Yeah, which is
yeah.
why they get along. But like then that was something that was both kind of a parallel to like Fee's earlier character development and kind of a deep dive on Ereve and where Ereve could go. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that was really fun to do, to set up.
And we see more of it.
Delicious. Yeah. I love Ereve so much.
And now we are done with the playlist and we're getting into our questions.
Sure.
We have 5 of them, but we might dig kind of deep on these. So I think we're probably still going to have a pretty big open question time at the end.
Yeah.
So first one was, y'all have talked about Moreland having a scary spell sheet before. Was that power word pain the worst thing he could have done to Leo, or was he pulling punches?
It was not the worst thing he could have done.
No. I'm going to go ahead and say it. He could have power word killed Leo right there.
Yeah.
He could have killed Leo stone dead with one spell, no save.
Yeah.
Leo could have been dead.
Yeah.
And he didn't.
And he didn't. And he chose not to.
And he chose not to. So for your character studies, just file that away.
Yeah. Yeah.
He could have killed Leo outright and chose not to.
Yeah. Yeah. He has, I believe, 2 spell slots that he can cast power word kill with.
1. He has 1.
Oh, 1?
Because power word kill is a 9th level.
Okay.
Power word pain is a 7th level. So he had
and
power word stun, because he has all 3 of the power
Yeah.
word spells. He has power word stun, power word pain, and power word kill.
He's scary.
Yeah, he's fucking terrifying.
His spell sheet's bad.
But no, if he had decided to not pull punches, he could have just outright killed
Yeah.
Leo, stone dead, nothing that anybody could have done about it.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, because Leo had less than 100 hit points.
At that point, Leo had less than 100 hit points.
Yep.
But we also have to reason that Moreland would have known that Nora had access to Revivify.
Yeah, we can reason that. But also, I do think it says something that he...
The reason we had him not do that was very character motivated. Like, he made the conscious decision to, in his mind, be like, I could kill him, and I am not going to.
Yeah. Oof. Moreland Valstein's psychology there's a lot going on in there.
I put him in a petri dish, I shake him violently, I throw him under a microscope.
Somebody in the chat said, so why did he choose not to kill Leo?
That's a complicated question.
That's a complicated question. I think part of it, definitely for sure, was that, like, A, he knew Nora had access to a Revivify. B, it would have... If he could have been implicated in multiple deaths of high-profile people in his family, I think that was a risk that he was not willing to take after he already took it once.
Yeah, and I also think that one could argue that he does have a little tiny spark of humanity. Just like killing your brother is one thing. Like, actively making the decision to murder your firstborn child is kind of another one entirely.
Yeah. And also, we kind of have to go into the fact that, like, Leo looks a lot like Morlin, which means that with the way that he carries himself and with his stature and with his like
Current
style right now, like his
yeah.
haircut and everything, he looks a lot like Valoran.
Which we have done purposefully.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which we did on purpose. So there's that kind of like background trigger. And also like I think on the flip side of that, like beyond him having that little spark of humanity, I think he wanted to punish Leo. Killing someone is not punishing them.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like there's a lot of complex things that are going on in there.
Complex and deeply fucked up things,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
complex
yeah. Oh,
nonetheless.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
Complex and deeply dysfunctional. But like, yeah, I think it's all of that at once. Like there's a lot. It was a very split second decision that had a lot of psychology behind it.
Well, and when you consider sorcerers as a
Yeah.
class too, and like inherent magic and how like
Yeah, it's
sorcerers'
very-
inherent
yeah.
magic responds to their emotions,
Yeah.
that power word pain makes a lot of sense in
Yeah.
terms of like the malice and the wanting to
Mhm.
punish and the
Like that's
Yeah.
a lashing out, not a
not a
yeah.
calculated decision.
Yes. Yeah. So all of those reasons. Oh,
But yeah, no, that was not the worst thing he could have done to Leo.
No.
By a long shot.
yeah.
um,
Ugh.
Sophie's obviously pissed at Sabine, but how does Zed feel about that whole incident in regards to Sabine holding them back from that? Because really like in further episodes, we don't ever really see them hash that out.
Yeah. Or at least we haven't yet.
Yeah.
That is a complicated question. I think Zed for sure is pissed that he got like sidelined there, but I don't think he's as pissed about being sidelined as Fee is. Like, I'm trying to figure out how to word this. I think in the moment he was pissed about it, but it was kind of overwhelmed by being worried. Know what I mean? Like,
well, and also
Zed ADHD emotional impermanences.
well, and also I think Zed kind of had the benefit of being able to separate Sabine's actions from like a person he is deeply emotionally attached to. Like, is he mad at Leo for making that call and telling Sabine to do that? Yeah. Probably. But like, is he mad at Sabine as a person? He doesn't really know her that well.
Yeah.
And whereas like feel like that's her
Especially not
girlfriend.
at that point,
Yeah.
Like I think Fee is pissed at Sabine because they are as close as they are. Which we'll get into. But like I think where Zed is at as far as how he is emotionally responding to Sabine is very much, this was a call that Leo made that Sabine went along with because she intellectually thought it was the right call, and she did not have the context that Zed has to know where Leo's emotional state was at, as far as he knows.
Which really Sabine didn't. I mean, other than what she could infer, like she's a perceptive person, but also
and she's Leo's friend, and somebody in the chat said Ed voice, you ever just be mad at a person, but also their partner is pissed at them for the same reason, and like that partner will take care of it. Yeah, pretty much.
Well, and at that point, Zed was more concerned with taking care of Leo.
Yeah, like he had other things to worry about, and also he's not that close to Sabine, and also like at the end of the day, it was a call that Leo made that Sabine went with because it made sense to her intellectually, which like he can't fault her for that, because I think to an extent intellectually it makes sense to Zed as well. It's just that Zed has the context of Leo's emotional state and of seeing Leo at rock bottom before to know that it was not an intellectual decision on Leo's part entirely.
Yeah.
So,
which leads us to our next question.
Yeah.
Leo, bestie, we know you're not okay, but like, are you okay? No!
No!
Not just no, but hell no. Which, okay, yeah, like if you guys examined the content warnings for this episode, you'll know what I'm talking about. But I will say, like, for the remainder of, should we do like a hand up, hand down thing with
We'll do
this?
a hand up, yeah.
Okay. Hand up for discussions of suicidal ideation.
Yeah. I'll put it down when we're done.
Yeah. That's part of the diagnostic criteria for borderline personality disorder, especially when folks that struggle with that are at a rock bottom point, like Leo was at that time. And it wasn't necessarily that he was actively trying to die, it was that he didn't care if he did. And Zed called him on that, and that was what caused the big crying, sobbing breakdown. Because he had been telling himself that it was rational and that it was the logical conclusion of everything that was going on, when really it was just he was tired and that he didn't care if he died.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was Leo briefly got out of his flop era and then like nosedived back into it so hard.
He's doing a lot better. Like, if you examine, even in this episode, the way that Leo acts, he has been recognizing and coping with a lot of symptoms, like, which I think you've played super well, right? Like, even in this episode, we see Leo like almost go into a splitting episode on Fee and then
rein it back in because
then,
he's trying to do better.
And then recognize it, deal with it, put it away, and approach the conversation in a more constructive way. It's just that this is something that he has not recognized and has not put a name to, and thus has not been able to cope with.
Well, because he hasn't really had to deal with it until like very recently, until the whole like incident at the end of season 2 with getting across the bay, and then
and the end of season 1.
And but yeah, it's very much not that he has this like active urge to make that happen, but that's not always what suicidal ideation looks like. It's not. It's very much like at this current point, Leo is at a point where it's like he's not actively trying to die, but also he doesn't care if he does, and he'll put himself in positions where he could. And borderline personality disorder is like that. So short answer, no, he's not okay.
He's working on it.
But yeah, he did make that agreement with Zed to work on it and to try to improve that. But again, and something we're going to see with Leo's character a lot in season 3 is that doesn't happen in a day. So strap in. And we're done.
Somebody in the chat said, "Thanks for talking about BPD genuinely."
That's what I made Leo to do, honestly.
So true, bestie. BPD moment. God.
It's what I made Leo to do, in the chat. Honestly.
Oh, goodness. Thank you, chat. And on a lighter note, how many people in Vogtwalder have access to the broadcasting network? Is it one big centralized thing, or does each city have its own? It is a centralized thing. It's basically, I think the closest parallel is the BBC or like CNN. Know what I mean? You know, like it is a central
PBS.
Or PBS. Like it is a central news hub that is broadcasted to anyone in Vogtwalder that has a radio. But it is
a fantasy radio,
a radio, a magic radio. But it is exclusively not taped, but it is exclusively broadcasted from Volder. Because you get to do that when you're the capital. And also that's where all the political news in Vogtwalder comes from, and
I think there are
Yeah.
other magic radio stations,
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
those are more localized, you know.
Yeah. Like the Voldaren Broadcasting Network is it's a public service. Like it is a
Mhm.
public channel and it is funded by taxes, so it is centralized at the capital. Yeah.
And that will be important in the next few episodes.
Yeah. Like it very much is a news network. You know what I mean? And yeah, somebody said like the one with the story thing on. Yeah, like there are definitely other stations, and there are definitely more fun stations because it's radio. And there are very much like audio dramas and fun things like that, and more local news. But like the Voldaren Broadcasting Network is its own thing because it is journalism. It's the news. So no, not every city has its own Voldaren Broadcasting Network, but they have their own smaller news outlets
and entertainment outlets
and entertainment outlets,
and music stations and things like that.
Um,
Like if you look back into the history of the radio,
Yeah.
it's very interesting. As somebody who has
go
written
off info dump.
as somebody who has written a lot of fiction that takes place in the 1930s when the age of radio was in full swing and where most households had at least a small radio, like radio dramas were huge, which is why I put that thing with like Lark being into the audio drama on there. Like the 1930s were the age of like the Lone Ranger and
Yeah.
things like that. But also there were music stations, there were news stations. Like that's kind of where we're trying to place Bogboulder in terms of like media dissemination.
Like we're trying to kind of range it from like it's obviously Roman Empire inspired, but like
but also there's a
technologically-
steampunk.
it's very steampunk. Like technologically, we're trying to set it like late 1800s, early 1900s. You know what I mean?
But also they have magic, so we can add things like the radio into it.
Yeah.
Because you throw a crystal in this cabinet and now it's a radio. Yeah.
But like it's in the fact that they have cars, but they're not widely available, and like it's just fun. I just think it's neat.
Okay, and this is our last question for the evening. So
Open questions.
open question time in the chat.
Yeehaw.
And we're coming up on our 30-minute mark, so we might have to riff quite a bit.
If we riff, we riff.
If we riff, we riff. If we riff, we riff.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Neither of us can talk. Our last question was just in all caps. What the fuck was Fee thinking?
I don't know. What the fuck was Fee thinking?
Listen. Fee's an impulsive person. I've been saying Fee's chaotic line from the beginning. But like also, I think Fee was thinking in the back of her head from like the moment Leo got stabbed that like
Leo didn't get stabbed.
Leo got power word. Sorry, yeah. From the moment Leo got power word pain. Sorry, from the moment Leo stabbed their dad. My brain. She was kind of thinking, like, on the one hand, this is a horrible emotional experience, and this is a horrible thing that is happening. On the other hand, Leo definitely took their father by surprise and definitely set him back on his heels.
So and he almost got him. And that was the point that Leo made. Like, he almost got him.
Yeah. Like, Fee does not agree with the decision that Leo made, but like, that also didn't stop her from casting a witch bolt on her dad. Like, she very much, in her analytical and in her tactical mind, saw an opening, and that was the first time that she had kind of experienced the fact that there was a news network that people tuned into. So I think it was kind of that thought process of just the wheels spinning of, okay, there's an opening here and we need every advantage we can get. Oh, news? So I think it was just kind of a flash of inspiration of, I can spin that to my advantage, huh?
Who am I going to get to help me with this? Who's the most
literally.
impulsive fucking person I know?
Literally.
I need to go talk to the captain.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she had that moment of, you can threaten people. There are people on the news.
So I'm gonna take the captain.
Yeah. Yeah. You can take a microphone from a person. Yeah, and I think she went into it thinking that maybe she was going to negotiate with people, and the captain brought up the good point of no.
What if we just went in and pulled a sword out?
Yeah, like you can talk on the news if you can get the microphone. I think was Fee's thought process.
Somebody in the chat just asked, is she going to get arrested for that? We'll see if you're a patron,
like 3 days.
3 days.
We'll see. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I think Fee's thought process very much was, okay, I have an opening. I'm going to get the mic by whatever means necessary. Somebody asked, good question. I had a question of like, was Sabina wrong though? I know this is complicated.
The definition of wrong is really complicated.
Yeah.
Like in Sabine's own mind and in Leo's mind, no.
Nope.
Like the reason, like this is gonna make Leo sound really shitty, but Leo made the decision with that message cantrip to reach out to Sabine because he knew that she was going to agree with him.
Yeah.
He knew, based on their experiences back in Pearlport in season 2, that Sabine was experienced in the idea of a crisis deadline and was experienced in the idea of doing survival math in that, like, okay, people might have to die for more people to get out of this.
Yeah.
And he knows that Fee does not think of things that way, and he knows that the captain does not think of things that way.
And he knows that Zed does not think of things that way.
And he knows that Zed does not think of things that way, or Eleanor. Well, Eleanor wasn't there, but yeah. But like of the people that were there, namely, and he doesn't know Ereve that well at all.
Yeah.
So like
Ereve might have agreed with him.
And Ereve might have agreed with him, but that wasn't for sure because he didn't know her that well.
Yeah.
So like he had the choice of reaching out to Zed, Fee, or Sabine. And he knew that Zed and Fee were both people who were not going to take that kind of pragmatic approach to what he was thinking of doing.
Yeah.
And so he reached out to Sabine, who was the one person who logistically at that point would back him up because she understood the idea of survival math. Yeah.
Yeah. I think in Fee's mind, obviously Sabine is very wrong.
But in Leo's mind, she was right.
Yeah.
Though. So I mean, like, and again, to be fair to Leo, he almost had him. Like, if I had rolled a little higher on that, like my extra, like my sneak attack rolls and stuff, I could have gotten him.
Yeah.
And that would have been a fascinating thing. That would have been a fascinating thing if I had just like killed Moreland outright in the first episode of season 3. Things would have gone a lot differently than they did. But
yeah, I was gonna say as a joke, then the campaign would have been over. It wouldn't have.
It wouldn't have been over, but it would have been a lot
been
different.
BBEG.
yeah. At that point, Elisha would have turned into our BBEG.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, you know, I almost had him, and that is very much something that Leo and Sabine are kind of still of a mind about. Of like, he could have gotten him. Like,
yeah. Like it's very much a question of your own personal opinion, really. Like, I don't think there's an objective answer to who was right in this.
Yeah, I don't think there's really a right or wrong. I just think it's a pragmatism versus
idealism
really. Thing. Yeah.
It's just a lot of people in this party have moral systems that do not line up.
Leo and Fee being the main two that have moral systems that do not line up. Chaotic neutral versus lawful neutral.
But yeah, like, I think the captain said Sabine and I were wrong because the captain acted in the moment instead of like sitting down and having a think about it. And then once he had sat down and had to think about it, he was like,
Oh, that wasn't
Yeah,
move.
I wouldn't have done that if I had been able to think about it.
Well,
was
and
kinda
also
where
the
the
captain
captain's
didn't
coming
have
from.
full context.
Yep.
You know, the only people in that situation that had full context were Leo and Sabine,
Yeah.
really, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and, like, he was very much approaching that line from in the moment, he assumed that Sabine was acting on instinct, and once he had the context that that was not the case, I think that kind of shaped that line, and also, like, to an extent, yeah, it's kind of 2 separate questions whether or not Sabine was wrong to do what she did and whether or not she was wrong to not warn Fee what was about to happen. Like, those are kind of 2 separate questions, but it's, you
But
know,
also, yeah, you have to consider she
it's
didn't
personal.
really have time.
Yeah.
Like, which was the thing that Leo brought up later in the episode, in that conversation of, like, I had 5 seconds to figure out something that
Yeah.
was going to stop all of us from maybe dying. And, like, you know, so everybody in that situation has a valid point.
Yep.
I don't think anybody was really wrong. You know, it was just a lot of it was split second decisions. Leo did make some calculated decisions in bringing Sabine into it.
Yeah, but
But
even that was
but I
very
don't
much
want to
yeah.
call that like bad or
Yeah,
manipulative
yeah.
because of where it was coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
It's just yeah.
it was a rough situation.
It's a rough situation.
And welcome to season 3. Like, we're gonna get a lot of these situations where
Yeah.
there are gonna be a lot of these questions of like, oh, was this person right or was this person wrong? And there's not gonna be a
Yeah,
concrete
there aren't
answer
really
to it.
answers.
Yeah.
Somebody in the chat said, "I was so proud of Leo for that speech." Same.
Wait till
Ooh.
episode 6. Wait till episode
Ooh.
6. Wait till episode 6.
Oh, goodness. Oh god, we should talk about this. We had planned like this confrontation we had planned from the beginning, and we had planned to go into it with Moreland not knowing that Leo had magic.
Yeah, well, we had talked about that in a
Yes.
previous Q&A.
Yeah. But now we have the context of it.
Yeah, when we had that scene in, I believe it was season 2, episode 13, where Leo did that first scrying spell on him, and I got so mad that I had him drop the sending spell.
Yeah, that derailed the plan that we had for a season and a half at that point to have Leo go into the confrontation with Moreland not knowing he had magic. And it just
So that was why
Ooh.
we had to do the whole thing with
Yeah.
Leo like getting Fee's wand, because Moreland knew he had magic, but he didn't know what flavor of caster he
Yes,
was. Like,
yeah.
oh, is he a late bloomer sorcerer? Like, what's going on?
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
he didn't know what Leo could do. So we saw that, but ooh. It was a lot. Open question in the chat. Somebody in the chat said episode 6 my feared.
Don't fear it. It's going to be very gratifying.
Fear it a little bit.
Fear it a little bit. Fear it a little bit, but on the whole, it's very gratifying.
We had fun.
It's one of our shorter episodes this season,
Yes.
but
not by much. It's just over an hour.
Yeah, like an hour 10, and it's like an hour 9. Yeah, like
we've been keeping things pretty tight so far.
Yeah, we have an hour and 40. Yeah, episode 5 is an hour and 40 minutes, but it's a big lore dump episode though. Like,
yeah, we've been. Ooh, somebody said, "Ooh, you want to tell us about the BBEG Alasha that could have happened?"
Well, if Moreland had died, since he and Alasha were married, she would have become the sovereign ruler of Australia because they didn't have any children together.
Yeah.
So,
well, that or I think she would have tried to delegitimize Fee and Leo from taking it at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just situated herself on the throne.
Yeah.
And I think that would have been a lot of the conflict of season 3. And
we can't do a lot of clarification on that because of things that are coming later.
Yeah.
But yeah, what would have happened was if Moreland had died from the big stab in episode 1, which could have happened.
Yeah, then we would have been politically maneuvering against Alasha fully assuming the throne and fully assuming the mantle of Archduchess. And we would have been maneuvering to, like, I think she would have been out for revenge, honestly. And
yeah, given how she views Moreland
season.
and like what he means to her. Yeah, for sure.
Trauma bonding. It's fun. Everyone should do it. I'm kidding. Somebody in the chat said Leo stabbing Moreland was very gratifying.
Yeah, it was gratifying for me too, bestie.
It was good.
Kill your dad.
Kill your dad.
Kill your dad.
As a friend of ours said when they listened to the episode, taking a shot of kill your dad straight vodka. Oh, goodness. Oh, yeah. But yeah, it was. We have been waiting for that stab for a very long time.
Yeah, and
Oh,
like
goodness.
in a way, like with the way that things have played out in
Yeah.
season 3 so far, I'm glad I didn't kill him outright.
Yes.
I'm glad he got out.
Yeah.
But like I could have gotten him.
Yeah.
Right
I'm glad
there.
it didn't happen because we would have had to restructure a lot. But and also because I enjoy what we have. But like, ooh, it was
Is that 11 hit points? 11 hit points, and with the rolls, with those rolls that I did on the sneak attack, I could have gotten him.
Yeah,
I could have gotten him.
that's close. Yeah, because you rolled ass on the sneak attack.
I rolled ass on those extra rolls. Yeah, I rolled absolute ass on them. I could have gotten him.
So close. Well, and you also forgot your divine strike, I think.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot my divine strike because I didn't start remembering that until
Yes.
we got into a later combat
Clerics
episode.
have a thing where when they hit with melee attacks, they can add a d8. And we forgot. Dungeons and Dragons is a complicated game. Oh, goodness. But like it was close.
11 hit points.
Oh, goodness. But yeah. Cool.
Well, he was down to 11 hit points, even if I had rolled an 8 on divine strike. I still wouldn't have gotten him. Like,
yeah, there's that. And also Alasha had heals technically. And you wouldn't have been able to kill him outright and
yeah,
all that.
Yeah, because he would have gotten into death saves, and by that
Yeah.
point, Alasha would have gotten to him and zapped him.
A
out,
lot of things
so,
would have
yeah.
had to go wrong.
Yeah, for me to get him.
Yeah,
a lot of things would have had
mechanically. A lot of things would have had to go wrong. But if they had, ooh, BBAG Alasha.
To go wrong.
Yeah. Honestly, Alasha is a pretty major villain for the rest of the season.
Yeah, Alasha makes a lot of things happen that are not good.
Gaslight Gatekeep Girl Boss. Ooh.
If anybody has any other questions,
Yes.
just keep putting them in the chat. We're gonna keep going
just
for
riffing.
about another 17 minutes.
Ish. Ooh. Yeah, I've been having fun with Alasha's machinations this season.
And they get worse. They get worse as the season goes on. I did have a conversation with a friend that brought up the idea of an evil Leo, like eventual end game.
Oof.
And I did like represent the counterpoint of evil Leo would have happened if he hadn't met Zed and Eleonora at the time that he did.
Yeah.
Like he would have gone, because we've brought up before that Leo and Moreland are narrative foils, and if Leo had not gotten access to a support network when he did, he would have gone the way of his father and gone completely off the shits.
Somebody in the chat said, "Oh, are you able to clarify what the magic Moreland used for healing himself was? Was it Archduke specific magic or a divine soul sorcerer ability?"
Yes.
Both.
Yes.
Both, because it's an ability that you get as a level 20 divine soul sorcerer, and Moreland is the only level 20 divine soul sorcerer in the world because he's the Archduke.
And we are being silent.
And now we are being silent. But yeah, it is a divine soul sorcerer ability that you only get at I think it's 20. It's either 20 or it's a very high
It's
level.
20 or 18.
Yeah,
I
it's a
think.
very high level divine soul sorcerer
Where you
ability.
get to get like half of your max HP.
Yeah,
back as an action.
yeah. And Moreland is the highest level divine soul sorcerer
Alive.
Yeah. Yeah.
And has been the highest level divine soul sorcerer alive in like several tens of
Yeah.
thousands of years. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's both the fact that he is the Archduke and the fact that he is innately very powerful, and the fact that he has practiced magic a lot and he has had to develop that ability.
Well, and also the magic of Astraria
Yeah.
and the magic of Astraria that gives all of there, because there's a lot of divine soul sorcerers in Astraria. I would say that, like, try to imagine that Astraria has a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people in the country that are divine soul sorcerers that can tap into that pulse.
Yeah.
And draw their power from it.
Yeah.
Morlun is the closest person to that pulse and can pull a fuck off powerful amount of magic from it. Yeah.
It's oof, 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 oof. But yeah, it TLDR, both. Cool. But yeah, and we will get into that more. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, no, Leo BBEGAU at this point would break my soul. It would have to have been starting a long time ago. Yeah, and like literally the only way that Leo, like evil Leo, like BBEG Leo could have happened was if he didn't meet Zed and Eleonora at the time that he did, and that was established in like episode 2. So there was really no way for it to ever happen.
Yeah.
It is fascinating. Like it's a very compelling thing to consider. Especially given that in season 3 we do a pretty deep dive into how unsettlingly similar Leo and Morlun are as people.
Or you mean in season 3 we're doing that?
Yeah, season 3 rather. Yeah. Like we do a pretty
narrative foils.
Yeah, we do a pretty deep dive in season 3 as to how very deeply similar Leo and Morlun are as people. And we on a couple of occasions see moments where it's like, oh, Leo could have made this Morlun decision and then doesn't. Yeah,
and like him getting a support network and him getting people that are good and will call him on his shit definitely like jump started the character development that he's had throughout the series and are what separates him from Morlun. Know what I mean?
Yeah, because Morlun has enablers.
Yep.
At this point, that's all he has because he's killed everybody else.
Yeah.
Because people tried to call Morlun on his shit and then he killed them.
Yeah. Like it. Let's be clear. Morlun is not this way from lack of access to people that would call him on his shit.
No, he just murdered them.
He just killed them. Oof. And we'll see that when we put out the Omogroth bonus episodes. Subscribe to the Patreon.
We'll also see that in episode 6.
Yeah. We'll also see that in episode 6.
There is one current person alive that can call Morlun on his shit.
Yeah.
And it's Alasha.
Yeah.
But she is also so complicit in his shit that it gets a little muddled.
Yeah. She can call him on his shit, but not like the deeply fucked up shit. Just like when he's an idiot.
Yeah.
Oof. And it is because she is so complicit in the fucked up shit. Oof. This is so sad. Alexa, play Alpha Rat's Nest. God.
All right. Roughly 10-minute call.
10-minute call. Yeah. Somebody said ... in response to us saying Morlun is surrounded by enablers because he killed everybody else. Yeah. Yeah. Oof. Oh, goodness. Yeah. And that's how he ended up where he is. Oof. Yeah. It's very much, it's been very interesting to do the Leo Morlun narrative foil shit now that we have them both on camera regularly
and on camera together. Yeah. It's
Oof.
Yeah, because I hate to boil it down to just like oh, the only thing keeping Leo from becoming his father is the fact that he had a support network. Because there are several points where like
Yeah.
Leo does make this decision to be like,
Yeah.
no, I'm gonna be better
Yeah.
than this.
Well, and
Yeah.
Leo chooses to have a support network.
Yeah.
Like he chooses to be better for the people that he cares about,
Mhm.
which is fundamentally not a decision that Moreland made at any of the points that he could have.
Yep. And he had several
And
opportunities.
he had a lot of opportunities. Yeah, it's been very interesting. It's petri dish.
I put them in the
Petri dish.
centrifuge. I spin them around.
Yeah. Woof. It's been we're having fun recording early season 3. Oh, we've been having fun. Oh goodness. Yeah, we're in the paint now. Somebody said Morlasha single-handedly put the Mountain Goats as my third most listened artist in 2020.
So true, Monarch. Sing for the damage we've done and the worst things that we'll do.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah. Hand an unlovable hand. Morlasha also petri dish.
Yeah, it's like a thing. It's like we realize that it's bad. Like it's
bad.
fundamentally bad.
It's bad.
I want to study it.
I want to study them.
I want to put them under a microscope.
I want to run tests on them with my ray gun. Oh goodness. The same person said Tallahassee sure is the only album I've listened to.
Please listen to All Hail West Texas.
Listen to the rest of it. Listen to All Hail West Texas. Listen to the Sunset Tree.
Please listen to the Sunset Tree.
Sunset Tree.
The Sunset Tree will give you more Leo feelings than anything else. But yeah.
The Sunset Tree is also one you should listen to for our next campaign. Oof. Oh goodness. Why are people like that allowed to be in love?
Because every person with consciousness is deserving of love.
Yes.
Yes.
Even if it's this. Oh goodness. Same person said I got assigned Heretic Bride by you quiz. Listen to Heretic Bride. Ooh, it's
Heretic
an album.
Bride's a good album.
Ooh, it's an album. Ooh, I think about Michael Myers Resplendent every single day. And also Sax Rumor too. Listen to Sex Rumor too. It's the song that got me into the Mountain Goats. I'm looking you in the eyes. Do it. I only listen to the Mountain Goats.png. Anyway. Yeah. Everybody is, somebody in the chat said, I guess everybody is deserving of experiencing love. It's just that some people suck and the people that they love that are willing to be around them suck also. And that's
it really is a hand in unlovable hand.
An unlovable hand. God.
I know that we had pitched No Children as a Captain Sabine song
before they got back together.
Yeah, but maybe it should go on the Moreland and Alasha playlist. And I hope you die. I hope we both die.
I don't think they're that angry at each other. I think they just suck. But something off Tallahassee goes on there.
Well, we have Alpha Rat's Nest on there.
That's true. Oof. Oh, goodness. Morlasha's bad. But it's fascinating.
But it's fascinating. Yeah,
I peel them like an orange.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's like I feel like us being as fascinated as we are by it and digging as far into it as we are is gonna like people are gonna think we endorse it. We don't.
We don't. Let's be clear.
We're just fascinated
by them. Oh my god. It's like watching a car crash.
It's like putting E. coli under a microscope and watching it multiply.
I feel the same feelings watching Morlasha that people are seeking out when they watch psych horror movies. Like, whoo. Entrancing.
I feel like watching the Saw movies right now. Yeah, that's how I feel about Morlasha.
Yeah. It is like watching somebody be dismembered in a saw trap, yeah. But psychologically. God. Oof. Petri dish. Oh, they fascinate me.
We don't endorse them.
We don't endorse them,
We do find them
but
fascinating.
they're very fun.
All right,
Yes,
5-minute warning.
5-minute call. Peel them like an orange. I peel them like an orange. I share a wedge with everyone.
Nobody wants the wedge that you give
Yeah.
to them, but
Here's the question, though: would Moreland and Elisha like Saw?
Moreland wouldn't.
Elisha would.
Yeah, I feel like Elisha's the one that's more into like slasher horror.
Yeah.
Moreland's into more like Silence of the Lambs shit. Yeah.
Elisha's your friend that watches the Saw movies and talks about the logistics of Jigsaw putting the traps together.
And also, wow, this blood is obviously fake.
Yeah. Elisha watches horror movies to critique them, but she does watch them. Elisha's your friend that says, "How did Jigsaw get out of the Home Depot with all this?" Was it like a multiple stores kind of trip? Was it?
Yeah,
was
I
it-
think he had to hit like the Lowe's, the Home
Yeah.
Depot.
Yeah. A peek inside Elisha DeCarin's brain.
But
Oh
how
my
would you
goodness.
effectively cover up this murder?
Yeah.
Versus Moreland being like, he ate his liver with fava beans and a nice Chianti. That's fucking delicious.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Somebody in the chat said Moreland and Kimbrel handshake me and Hannibal, apparently. We have said in previous Q&As that Kimbrel would like Hannibal. Kimbrel likes Hannibal because it's homoerotic. Moreland likes Silence of the Lambs because Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs is
deeply fucked. Yeah.
We understand that Silence of the Lambs is not a movie that has aged well.
No.
We get it.
We get it.
We know.
We are also products of our time.
Yeah. It hasn't aged well, and it wasn't. Yeah. We all know it's bad. But also, fascinating piece of cinematography. Oh, goodness.
Actually,
3-minute call.
Actually, no. Moreland's an old school AHS fan. Speaking of things that have aged badly.
Oof. God. Somebody said Kimbrel likes homoeroticism. He's gay.
He's gay.
Tell me more. He's gay.
He's gay. We can't tell you anything more right now because spoilers.
Yeah, I understand that at this point we've only said it out of canon and we're not shaming you for not knowing. But yeah, Kimbrel's gay.
It will be canon at one point.
Kimbrel and Kiva are both gay. Love to have some gay gods. Every god we've featured on the show in person is gay. Oh, goodness.
Oh, no.
He gay. Yes.
Extremely.
Yeah. A gay skeleton is something that could be so personal. Oh, goodness.
2-minute call.
Yeah, 2-minute call. I feel like we haven't explicitly said the words Kimbrel's gay in a Q&A. We've just known it. So I feel like anybody who's back watching the Q&As. Oh no. We're sorry.
Oh, he's so gay.
God. I'm just picturing a cartoon of a skeleton with the horns. I like men. Oh, goodness.
Anyway, next week we're
Next
going to
week.
be getting a lot of new lore. We're going to be getting some features from characters we haven't seen in a while. We're going to be getting into the fucking paint of season 3.
We're gonna be getting into some particulars of Leo's new rogue abilities.
Yeah, Leo's new rogue abilities. Yeah, specifically. Good fucking luck.
Oof.
And feel free to scream at us, because we sure did scream at ourselves.
It's going to be a fun one, everybody. We will see you next week.
Farewell and welcome to
Farewell.
season 3.
Welcome to season 3.
Bye.